One, two, three.
I understand everybody out there on Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, all that crap. You guys are spreading a bunch of rumors. You're acting like there's a bunch of turmoil going on inside of the Ego Busters locker room, inside of our practice facility. So I invite you guys all here today. You guys can ask all your silly questions. We can get all this stuff out of the way, and we can start heading towards January 10th, which is what's really important, what really matters.
It has been reported that Dan Walsh accepted Colt Cabana's open contract without your approval. Is that true? And if so, how do you feel about Walsh doing that?
Yeah, so the number one rumor going on out there is that I did not know about Dan Walsh signing the open contract to go against international superstar Colt Boom Boom Cabana on January 10th, and that's 110% false. Dan Walsh picked up his phone, he called me before he signed anything, he got the first crack at it, and he took it because who wouldn't take it? Is it ideal? Of course not. Of course it's not ideal. Of course I'd love for him to be fresh going into that match. But at the end of the night, when we're sitting there and I've managed somebody not only to the first 2014 PWCS championship ever, but also I've managed somebody to a victory over international superstar Colt Cabana, who's going to be laughing now? Is it going to be me or is it going to be you guys? Because I'm going to be the one at the end of the night with the victories, with the title, with the trophy, with everything. It's all coming home to the Ego Busters. So you guys can all sit there, you can spread these rumors, you can do what you want. The fact of the matter is nothing wrong. There's no turmoil going on with the Ego Busters. Me and Dan are fine, and we are all fine going into this huge night with two huge matchups. I couldn't be more excited.
You've postponed this presser twice now. A lot of rumors are swirling regarding Gary J's recent St. Louis Anarchy title defense versus Davey Vega. What's going on in the Ego Busters camp right now?
Yeah, the reason that I've called you guys all here, the reason I want to talk to you today is because for the past week, I've delayed this press conference as much as I can. I don't want this to happen, but unfortunately the league has forced my hand. 1 week ago, if you guys saw it, there was a war between Gary J and Davey Vega for the St. Louis Anarchy title in Alton, Illinois. And unfortunately that match has rendered Gary unable to pass a PWCS physical. And I'm told that because they're trying to grow this league, they want to make it premier, they want to make it the best in the Midwest, and then beyond that they're not going to allow him to compete because he cannot pass his physical. They believe Gary J suffered a concussion that day. It's not what I want. It's not what Gary wants. Gary wants to fight. Gary feels 100%. I know that Gary could fight. The league has forced our hand, and so there's nothing that we could do, unfortunately, but replace Gary J in the main event January 10th for the huge PWCS championship match.
Any word on who will replace him?
So yeah, of course, the next question is going to be, who's this replacement? I understand. But the whole point of this, the whole point of the Ego Busters is that I got the deepest pockets, the deepest connections in all the Midwest wrestling. And so, you know, I immediately got on my phone, I made my phone calls, and I would love to have gotten somebody who we've already had, a guy like Christian Rose, one of my brothers and boss. That would have been fantastic. But unfortunately, a lot of guys this close to such a huge event, they've already made other plans, they've already made other commitments that they cannot break. So we held last week a huge pro day, a developmental camp here, and we brought in stars, we brought in kids, young boys, everybody from over here to come and show us their goods, and out of that came a huge guy from Omaha, Nebraska. He came down, showed us what he's got. Guy, you may have heard of him if you're up north, Hype Gotti. Hype Gotti's going to be the fourth Ego Buster. Hype Gotti's the 2014 King of Des Moines for 3XW. He's a multi-time tag team champion, multi-time heavyweight champion for Pro Wrestling Phoenix. He's pretty much the king of the Northwest independents. So if you guys haven't heard of him down here in St. Louis, that's your own fault. He's coming here. He's coming here to Granite City, Illinois for the PWCS championship match. He's going to be on the Ego Busters team. We of course will miss Gary. Of course it's a downgrade to an extent, but at the end of the day, they've seen Gary J. Blacklist have seen Gary J. They haven't seen Hype Gotti. A lot of people in St. Louis haven't seen Hype Gotti. He's coming down. He's on a good recommendation from Jeremy Wyatt. They've had wars over the years. They're willing to bury the hatchet. He's going to come here and compete for me. And you guys know that I have the biggest pockets, the best talent in the world, and there's absolutely nothing wrong at the Ego Busters camp. So I hope that this is going to put it all together, put it all to bed, and at the end of the day, we're heading towards January 10th. We're going to beat Colt Cabana, we're going to beat the Blacklist, and we're going to ride off into the sunset with that trophy. That's my destiny. So if you guys don't get out of here, we're going to get back to doing work and preparing, which is what we're supposed to do.